Hello, my lovelies. It is time for round 43 of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. So this month's Have I Read It's are going to be a bit interesting because, as you see, I am surrounded by boxes. I currently have no books unpacked. So it's going to be something trying to figure out this whole Have I Read It thing. If you're new here, I will link a playlist up here for you to go and check out. But the way Have I Read It works is I react to one of my hauls that are from like over 3 years ago, and I tell you if I've read it, if I haven't read it, or if I've unhauled it. And then, oh gosh, I just realized, normally I would have a stack of the ones that I haven't read here next to me, you know, when I find them on my bookshelf and set them here, and then you would vote on which of these that I haven't read that I need to add to my TBR for the next month. And how many I choose is based on how many are here. So if there's 10 or less, then I would choose the number 1 voted book. 11 to 20, I would pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. However, I'm not gonna have the books to stack up next to me to keep count. So maybe what I'll do is just do like a little thing on my phone or on my computer, just a little tally mark for myself to know how many books are sitting here. I will like post a picture of the book up here when I'm talking about whatever book it is for you to vote on. This is going to be interesting all around. It's going to be interesting for me to film. It's going to be interesting for me to edit. And I can't just put the picture here. Well, I'll figure it out as I go. All right, so this month I'm going to be doing 2 Have I Read It. And the first one is my book haul December 2018 and January 2019 haul. And then the next Have I Read It I do is going to be my book outlet haul from those months. Yeah. And I can see here that there is a couple of hefty stacks. So hopefully I will have read quite a few because I need things to be easy right now because I'm trying to unpack a house and get another house ready to sell. And life's crazy. Okay. So I have my earbuds in. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my December and January book haul for you, so stay tuned. So as you can see, I have 2 giant stacks of books here to haul for you today. This is actually my December and January haul. I got a lot and well, I'm just now getting around to filming this haul. So let's rearrange these piles a little bit. Oh, because this one I'm sure is about to fall over. Okay, so now I have it down into 3 more manageable piles here. So these first 2 piles of books are actually books that I don't know anything about at all. Like, I don't even know the titles of them, really. They're just a bunch of books that my mom gave me when I was down there visiting for Christmas. So she asked me if I wanted any of these books, and I was just like, yes. And so she gave them all to me. And now we're going to find out together what they're about. Okay, so this first book here does not look like something I would actually be interested in, but it's Wind River Cowboy, a Wind River Valley novel by Lindsay McKenna. I have unhauled that. Cowboy romance, not really my thing. Next up we have Dead Sleep by Greg Iles. I have not read Dead Sleep. Actually, that's one that I have unhauled because it was part of a series and I didn't have the rest of the series. All right, let me get back to the video. Next. Okay, next up we have Spandu Phoenix by Greg Iles. Okay, let me check on that one. Okay, so that is another one that I've unhauled because it, again, is part of a series. It's part of a duology, I think. And I don't have the first book. So, yeah. Let me get my earbud back in. Next. Okay, next up are some Danielle Steele books that they don't really say anything on the back about them, but I think they're just like adult romance. So we have The Wedding. I unhauled The Wedding. Next. No Greater Love. I unhauled No Greater Love. Next. Full Circle. I unhauled Full Circle. Next. And Lightning. And I unhauled Lightning. Next. Okay, next we have Back in the Saddle by Ruth Logan Herron. Yeah, a cowboy romance. I unhauled that. Next. Next we have Forever a Hero, The Carsons of Mustang Creek by Linda LaFell Miller. That's also one I've unhauled. Oh my goodness. Next. Alright, next up we have Close to You by Christina Dodd. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Okay, that's another one that was like book 3 in the series, so I unhauled it as well. Next. Okay, next up we have Finding Glory by Sarah Arden. I unhauled that one. Next. Next we have Carolina Courage by Dana Fuller Ross. I have also unhauled that one. Next. Okay, then we have Unfaded Glory by Sarah Arden. I unhauled that one as well. Next. Okay, next we have North and South by John Jakes. I got rid of North and South. Next. Then we have Cry of the Wind, which is book 2 of the Storyteller trilogy by Sue Harrison. I unhauled that as well. Next. Oh, and we have another Danielle Steele. This one's The Cottage. I also unhauled The Cottage. Next. Then we have an Iris Johansson book, and it's called And Then You Die. Okay, hold on. I think that Iris Johansson one is actually one that I do still own. Let me check. Okay, so I do believe that this is one that I still own. I have not read it. And let's see, it says it's when Bess Grady and her sister arrive in Mexico on vacation, they're expecting paradise. Instead, they find every person in the village is dead, killed from a bloodless carnage. The sisters are aided only by a mysterious agent who holds the key to stopping a vicious weapon aimed at America. Okay. So if you want me to read And Then You Die by Iris Johansson, vote for that. So we have one now on our list. Let's see if we get any more. Next. Next we have Riley in the Morning by Sandra Brown. I'm pretty sure that I've unhauled Riley in the Morning. Next. Okay, next we have Knit the Season by Kate Jacobs. A Friday night... a Friday night knitting club novel. Okay, Knit the Season. I don't recall. Hold on. I think that's also one that I've unhauled. Oh, and it is book 3 in the series. Okay, next up. Now let's get to this stack, which is the stack I'm actually excited about. I mean, granted, I'm always excited to get books. I love books. But before doing this haul, I didn't know what any of these books were about. So half of them I'll probably keep. Okay. So these first 2 books I have here were sent to me by my friend Clint over at Reed's Readers, and he is an absolute doll, and I'm not sure exactly when this video is posting, but one of these books is part of a readathon that we are doing in March. So the book for that is actually How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mather. So I have read that because that was that was our first season-a-thon that we had an author join us, which was very cool. So yes, I have read it and I still have it. Next. And the other book that he sent me is Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather. I have not read Haunting the Deep though, so I need to add that to my list. Okay, so Haunting the Deep is essentially the sequel to How to Hang a Witch, but it's like I'm looking at Goodreads here. It says, the Titanic meets the delicious horror of Ransom Riggs and the sass of Mean Girls in this follow-up to the #1 New York Times bestseller, How to Hang a Witch, in which a contemporary teen finds herself a passenger on the famous Ship of Dreams, a story made all the more fascinating because the author's own relatives survived the doomed voyage. Okay, so if you want me to read Haunting the Deep, vote for that. All right, continuing on. Okay, so next up, at Christmas time, my friend Tabby Newcomb sent me a gift card for Books A Million, and I used the gift card to get 2 books, and then I also purchased 2 more books from Books A Million while I was at it. So the 2 that I got with her gift card was Rise of the Sea Witch by Stacey Rourke. I have not read that. I don't think I've unhauled it. Let me see. Okay, so if you didn't guess, this is like a Little Mermaid retelling, and it's the first book in the Unfortunate Soul Chronicles. So yeah, if you want me to read this, vote Rise of the Sea Witch. Let's see what these other ones are. Let me get back to the video. Next. And the other book that I got is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have most definitely read ACOTAR and love it. Next. Okay, so the 2 that I picked out with my own money, I got If There Be Thorns by V.C. Andrews. I unhauled that. I read the first 3 or 4 books in that series because I was buddy reading them, and I hated them all the way through. I did not like any of them, and yeah, eventually I was just like, I don't want to keep reading these, and I unhauled the whole series. Next. And then the other thing I got was a graphic novel of Heavy Vinyl, Riot on the Radio. I have read Heavy Vinyl. Next. Also, I had pre-ordered a finished copy of Slayer. I have read Slayer by Kirsten White. Next. Okay, next up is A Boy Made of Blocks by Keith Stewart. Okay, I have not read that. I'm not sure if I've unhauled it or not, so give me just a second. Okay, it looks like I still own that one, so let me put it on here. And this says it is a funny, heartwarming story of family and love inspired by the author's own experiences with his son, the perfect latest obsession for fans of the Rosie Project, David Nicholas and Jojo Moyes. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote A Boy Made of Blocks. Next. Okay, next is A Certain Age by Beatrice Williams. I feel like I unhauled that one. Let me look. Yeah, I think I've unhauled that one. So, oh, my battery's flashing. Okay, give me just a second. I need to find a battery. I'll be right back. Okay, got my battery changed out. Continuing on. This next book also came from my Once Upon a Book Club bookish advent calendar, and that is Setting Free the Kites by Alex George. I believe that I've unhauled Setting Free the Kites as well. Next. Okay, this next little short book is one I actually won from a giveaway. It's called Queen Solomon by Tamara Faith Berger. Okay, I did start reading Queen Solomon, DNF'd it, hated it. and unhauled it. Next. Okay, these next books, I think they all came together in a special box put together for me. It was kind of a surprise from the creator of Totally Book Crate and My Guilty Pleasures Book Crate. She kind of did a special box just for me where she surprised me with multiple books, and I adore her. So we have The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Tuckholt. Okay, I believe that I've read The Boneless Mercies. Let me check. Okay, I don't have it marked as read, and I really can't remember if this is one that I unhauled or not. So I'm just gonna say it's unread and put it on my list for now. Again, since I don't have my books, I can't really 100% check. I'm mostly going by memory or if I've marked it or something. Let's see, so it says, Frey, Ovi, Juniper, and Runa are the Boneless Mercies. Girls hired to kill quickly, quietly, and mercifully. So that's all I'm going to read about that. If you want me to read The Boneless Mercies, vote for that. Okay, so we are up to 5 books on our list. Not too much time left in this video, so maybe I'll be lucky enough to only have to read the #1 voted book. Next up. Next that was also in that box is Shattered by Love by Danny Renee. I don't think I unhauled that. I do think I still have it. But I definitely haven't read it. So I'm going to add that on here. This says, Ivy was forced to walk out on the love of her life, leaving them both shattered. 5 years later, they come across each other at a wedding that will offer Ivy the chance to do the right thing, to admit the truth. The attraction is still there, the love is even stronger, but there's one challenge both will need to face. Okay, so if you want me to read that, vote Shattered by Love. Okay, next. Sorry if there was an angle change, but my battery died. Okay, so the last book that came in that box was Shadow and Ice, Gods of War by Gina Showalter. I haven't read that. I'm pretty sure I own that still. So let me double check. Honestly, I don't recall if I still own this one or not. This is the first book in the Gods of War series. It says Knox of Iveland, the most ruthless warrior in all war history, has spent his life fighting others to the death, winning new realms for his king. Now the stakes are higher than ever. If he prevails in the battle for Earth, his slave bands will be removed. Victory is his sole focus until he meets her. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Shadow and Ice, and I'm going to add that to my list here, just because I have no idea. All right, let me get back to the video. Next up. Okay, so the next book I got from Thrift Books, and that is Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins, and this is the second book in the Rebel Belle series. I can't remember if I've read this one or not. I know I read the first one. I can't remember if I read the second one. However, I unhauled the whole series. Next. And then last but not least is another book that I pre-ordered, and I'm so excited for this one. That is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. I can't remember if I've read the second book yet or not. I know I read Renegades and really enjoyed it, but I don't know if I've read Arch Enemies. Let me see if I marked it. I doubt it. I don't think I've read it. So I'm going to put that one on my list. Okay, so that's the last book in this haul. I have 8 here. So I only have to read the #1 voted book. So your choices are And Then You Die by Iris Johansen, Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather, Rise of the Sea Witch by Stacey Rourke, A Boy Made of Blocks by Keith Stewart, The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Colt, Shattered by Love by Danny Renee, Shadow and Ice by Gina Showalter, and Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. And if you don't know, Arch Enemies is the second in the Renegade series, which is like superhero kind of thing. Okay, not bad. I only have to pick the number one voted. I'm happy with how this turned out. I've either read or unhauled most of these books, which I was not expecting. So, yay. I have a feeling the next one's not going to go as well because it's Book Outlet. Well, comment down below which books you want me to read. I will tally them up and it will be in my TBR, one of my TBR videos later. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, with hopefully me actually having the books on hand, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.